farmhouse up where that gazebo was.
Right, exactly, before it burned down. Oh, yeah.
We're gonna tell them
All set?
we're gonna have to-
Okay. All right, we'll start 1 minute early. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of it's a work session, the Weare Board of Selectmen for March 27th. We were supposed to start at 6:30 with a non-public with a potential hire. Some administrative stuff was not done, so that will be postponed, which brings us to 6:45 to start, and we'll go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll do the manifest next since it's sitting right in front of me and get that out of the way. I got to move the order of treasurer to sign payroll, accounts payables, checks dated March 30th, 2023, is including the following manifest. A payroll manifest of $88,985.08. Accounts payable for $82,428.34, and supplemental accounts payable of $51,592 for $223,005.42. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. I'll move that down to Naomi. Brings us to the discussion with the police department, the CBA.
Hello.
Just all speak in the mic, that's all we ask. And before we get started, that was one comment that was asked, is make sure that the mics are close enough, so everybody can be heard.
Okay, come on up here, bud. All right, so Brandon Malpleasure, Austin McGuire, and Barry Charest on behalf of the Weare Police Department Union. So we sent an email on March 21st. Just wanted to confirm everybody received the email that I sent. So that did get forwarded to you?
No, about the MOUs?
Yes.
No, I didn't, I don't believe I got one.
Yeah, yours was screwed up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his
I've had a
email
few
didn't
I
quite go
haven't
through.
gotten,
Yeah, because I forwarded
Something
him,
else got the emails on it.
Yeah.
yeah, I forwarded you all the marked up contract.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get that, and then, but I don't think you got this, probably, I would assume.
No.
Okay.
Was that sent to him or no?
It may have been sent, but again, the email link from board members to his personal was not set up right, so he may not have gotten it.
Okay, so the police union would like to do a 91A on the email being sent.
It
being
was forwarded.
Okay.
It was forwarded, I have it right here.
Absolutely.
To board members, but unfortunately, with the new board coming on, the new members, Benji's transition email got screwed up, that's all.
Okay, we'd just like to get a copy of the email getting forwarded.
Okay, yeah, it's right here. Yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
perfect. Did you guys have a chance to review that document?
Yes, I did,
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to review it very well.
so.
So do you want to just start from the top and work our way
We can
down?
start from the top and work our way down. Yep.
Article 11, as negotiated, we just need to amend the language in the CBA to reflect the changes
That
on
we've
the
already,
MOU.
that we made at one of the last meetings, right?
Correct.
Okay, yep,
Article 12.1, military leave. I sent an email.
same, right? Didn't we talk about that already, or
No, I sent an email on January 30th, February 10th, February 14th, and February 21st, trying to get the town's position on military leave. Based on our negotiations, we asked to include 10 days of military leave per year for officers that serve in the United States military. Subsequent, the draft contract, they removed some language in the military leave portion, a benefit that we had that was never discussed, never proposed or anything else. Unfortunately, we only had about 30 minutes to review the draft contract prior to needing to say yes or no, based on the timeline that it had to get sent up to the DRA, I believe.
Yeah.
So the union did agree to the 8% contract, but we needed to go line by line to ensure everything else that we agreed upon in the contract was present, and obviously there's some confusion, so hopefully we can just come to the agreement that it was never proposed to take out any language, and it was just adding 10 military leave days.
Is this the red line stuff you were speaking of? Is that the removed verbiage you guys?
Yes.
Okay. All right, which, it reads, employees.
We have hard copies if you guys, instead of looking at phones, if that makes it easier.
I'm good like that.
Like them.
Absolutely.
I read it on the computer, but I don't have it with me.
So,
These ones are also the ones that we provided you on March 6th at our notes
Yeah,
as well. with them.
okay, all right. Is there, yeah, you got one more?
I already have it.
Oh,
Leave
here,
it- Leave it there anyway.
okay.
I got so much papers. Just a quick question.
Yep.
The one you supplied us is the same one that came back from Mark?
With
Back when
handwritten
I-
notes on the side.
Yeah, with your handwritten notes on the
Correct.
side. But, so the one where Mark is red or lined out, I'm looking at 12-1 right now.
Okay. So what's,
The same one. This is identical?
is there notes on the side?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I just want to, as we have, we started this back in September.
December.
Well,
Negotiations period.
no, the first email relative to this negotiation is September 14th, 2022.
Correct.
Okay. So, there's a lot of stuff that's crossed over, I hate to say it, for me anyway. It's like a puzzle. Okay, fire away.
So, the desire of the union is to keep the language that Attorney Broth had crossed out about paying the difference of lost wages for members if they're on military leave. We were specifically asking for only 10 days. We actually asked for 15 days of military leave. The town came back and gave us, or agreed to 10 days of military leave. At no point in time was there any proposal on the table to remove any language in that benefit. So we're a little confused on that.
Okay, so the document that we all got back, the language we're talking about is be paid by the town, the difference between the regular weekly pay and their military compensation. This provision does not apply to the weekend drill.
That is correct.
Okay.
So I'm catching up, so I apologize if this has
absolutely.
been said before. So do I understand correctly that if the language that were removed here, that had been removed, were put back, does that mean that for the first 10 days, you would be paid full pay plus the difference?
No, so what this language means is, so you're not able to use, so you have 10 military days. You can only essentially call them vacation days that you need to use while you're on military orders. So you can use those on your military drill weekends if you are, the only time you can use them too is if you're scheduled to work. So there's no tax impact per se, because the town has already budgeted that employees for 2,080 hours, right? So there's no increase of funds needed by the town. It's just making our union members whole so that they have the ability, because guys are using vacation days to go on military leave and whatnot.
With the exception of the overtime to fill the spot, which I'm not trying to take away anything about the military. I mean,
Yes.
thank you all, but
Yeah, regardless, you're gonna fill the spot.
you have to fill the
Someone
spot with
has a
overtime.
union, You're
Right.
filling that spot with overtime regardless.
right, yeah,
Right.
the actual military member's
Military
not
will take
receiving any
precedence
more.
over
Right,
police work.
right. The military member's not receiving any more or any less.
Yes.
So what we try to do is we put in for 15 days to try to offset it, because if you're at E2 in the Army Reserves and National Guard, you're not making much money
No, no.
At all.
at all. So this whole thing was put into place so that way it maybe helps a young officer who's in the military that doesn't have a lot of rank, that they don't have burdens on their families, right? Because now you don't want to encourage them not to serve in the military, right?
Absolutely.
We want to show that we back the military.
So I just want to clarify for myself.
Yep.
The first 10 days is,
They don't need to use it in the first 10 days. They have the ability to use it whenever they want.
right, well, what I'm trying to clear up though is the first 10 days are paid by the town, right?
No, so,
Well, it says receive full pay in the first 10 days.
10 days of leave.
10 days of leave.
Say 10 days. It says-
Yeah, and then after the 10 days, we'd be looking at the town would then, if they're.
Make up the difference.
Make up the difference.
so.
That's my question.
So that's another change to the negotiations though, because we never said it would be the first 10 days. It should be up to the officer when he's gonna use that, right? So if he wants to use it during his annual training time to get full compensation, rather than on a drill weekend, he should be able to do so. We proposed 10 days. We never said that he needs to use these 10 days first or last. again, like, we never negotiated that. We asked for 10 days. It's like us asking for 10 more additional vacation days. Now you're saying if you burn a day, you need to use your vacation day before you use a bonus day.
No, I just, like I said,
I think,
you
I think
want
with regard to that, it does, I read this as still applying to that, saying the first 10 days of leave under 12.1, you know, you use one day, and then you don't use a day, and then you do, it's still the first 10 days.
I think it would just be cleaner personally if we just say you have 10 days of military leave.
Yeah.
And then we take it when you need it. And obviously, the officer or sergeant or whoever it may be would need to provide their orders for the drill weekend or whatnot to justify,
Done currently.
which is done currently.
Yeah, it's just not like, hey, I have Army today, I'm out, you know, and I'm gonna get paid. That's not how this works. So the Army will draft a memorandum of your drill schedules, and then if you have annual training, they draft orders. All right, so how this would work, you have to provide the supervisor the memorandum of your drill dates or a copy of your orders if you wanna use the days. So that way, there's the proof that you're actually serving in the armed forces, and then that way you pay your days.
And how much notice do you usually get when you receive those?
It's theoretically, they project out a year. I can tell you from firsthand experience, it always changes.
As a person that does the schedule, I can tell you
Yeah.
it changes.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
just
not
to
like
get
it
to
just
the,
changed,
you
you're
know,
gonna have documentation
Yeah,
back.
I only ask because it will impact the town replacing, if an officer goes on military leave and somebody has to overtime that position, you know, just curious how much notice you usually get
Yeah, absolutely.
to address that.
so I feel like there's some run-on sentence going on here. I'm not, I am personally not opposed to the to be paid, the difference between the regular weekly pay, et cetera. I have no problem with that. I think that if it's 10 days as a blanket in 365 calendar year, that the provision for weekend drill should just go away. I think that should probably strike.
So you want to strike out that this provision does not apply to weekend drill? The union would accept that.
Okay, to me, that would clean that, I think so.
No, absolutely.
You know, but again, I think there's some grammar that needs to change on the top there, between paid town difference and the receive the 10 days.
Say that one more time, sorry.
I think there's some grammar that needs to be either added or changed, et cetera. Receive the full pay for the first 10 days of leave or whatever.
So, again, I think.
But I think the concept, I'm okay with. I just think it needs to be cleaned up
Okay.
grammatically.
Yep.
I don't know about the rest of the board, but that's just me.
I'm in that boat as well.
Okay, all right.
Can we just,
With the exception of this provision does not apply with the weekend drill, I think we're on board with taking that out.
And of course, Chief, I haven't seen this one, just to make sure, no carryover.
No
of the 10
carryover.
days.
Nope.
Okay.
That's what I was saying, and 365 calendar year.
Yep,
That's
yep,
gotta-
no
That's gotta be put in
carryover.
there too,
Yes,
yes.
thank you, Chief.
Or no carryover to the next year,
that's why he's chief.
yeah. I was getting to that, just a little slower on the draw, that's all.
So, Ricky, are you suggesting that we're gonna accept the language that they draft without review of Mark?
No, I'd still like to have it, but again, the concept you guys are going for, I don't have a problem with. Obviously, I'd like to have it reviewed, because
So,
I
where
graduated
is
high school a long time
the
ago.
tentative, where's the one that we submitted to the town? Military leave, or was that just verbal?
That was verbal, so yeah, I mean, this was already brought up with Mark
Yeah.
Roth during negotiations, and he tabled it, like, there was no issues.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying there's any issue, I just
That was
want,
with 15 days, and then it came to you folks here.
with 10 days,
And then you guys cut down
To
5
10.
days off of it down to 10.
right.
All right, but there was no issues during negotiations.
No,
so
no,
far.
no, I'm not saying that there's any issues with it, I just want to make sure that we write it correctly.
No, that's-
When we do write it.
No,
It's
absolutely.
like just to make sure we have follow-up on it, right? So we're not.
Right.
Yeah, and you're gonna have Steve review it accordingly
absolutely.
too, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think, like I said, I think some words need to be added, some commas, some periods, et cetera, that's what I mean.
Okay.
That's when I say grammatical changes.
Yep.
I don't know what the rest of
And
the
we
board
gotta,
feels,
they're
but,
gonna strike this, does not apply to
So-
weekend drill.
So we all are on the same page.
We're all on the same
This is a continuation of our negotiation because of the hurried time that it wasn't reviewed prior to it being accepted. The draft was accepted.
The draft, the 8% was accepted, but we needed to go through. It was a tentative agreement during negotiations that we were to get 10
So we're
military
now
days.
continuing the negotiations.
I would say that we're
Essentially
clarifying negotiations, not
Yeah, it's-
continuing.
It's part of the negotiation, just like we
Okay.
clarified the 5 to 11 to 8%. That was a clarification during the negotiation. Okay, so we're gonna have to have Mark look at this, because this is a continuance of our
I
negotiation.
understand Mark has to look at it.
Yeah,
It's on
and
4 months down the road, we're still having someone look at it.
No,
all I'm saying.
that's, yeah.
So our question is too, how does that affect the timeline for April 1? Hence why we're trying to get in here and get clarification on this for the last couple months.
As far as.
It actually going into our contract.
MOUs can go in at any time,
It's not-
in the
But-
contract timeline. It doesn't have to be before April 1st, it can be after April 1st. We can make those changes at this level
Okay.
and have them stick. That's part of that whole thing. It's, yeah, I mean, as soon as April 1 hits, the 8%'s gonna go through.
Correct.
That's given, and any other changes, but as we go through this, if we come up with something like 12-1, yes, there can be an MOU on file at any point in time, the way I understand it.
Yes, that is how it was described.
It's just not clean.
But aren't we all in agreement to take first out, so that's just 10 days of leave?
Yeah, and that's what, the concept is gonna stay the same. It's just the take the
We're gonna
word out or whatever.
we're gonna propose the email of the 21st with the modifications to Mark. And I realize 3 weeks has gone by since the 6th, when you were here, that we signed the MOUs in. But it's sort of the nature of the beast. It's the only way I can describe it to you. Without having a special meeting to get you here, it's just the way it works. Our docket has been, and we have been addressing them on a regular basis. Do you agree with that? Because Brandon, sometimes you don't.
Honestly, no, I don't.
All right.
I feel like it's been kicked down the road continuously. There's been a lack of communication tremendously, and I feel like you guys put us on the back burner. That's how I feel personally, and the union members as well. Because we've been trying to address this issue since January 6th. Again, January 30th, February 10th, February 14th, February 21st. We had an in-person on March 6th. We were supposed to meet on March 20th. Now it's March 27th. We have 4 days to try to get it into a contract. So when we're hiring new employees, the contract's posted on our website. It's posted online. Guys go to the union contracts to see what benefits they have. They're not going to see MOUs on that platform. And so it's not in the contract the way it should be. And this was all negotiated back in December. There's no surprises.
The only thing we're doing is we're modifying the language. There's been multiple emails on, as you've just stated, that say, in further review, we noticed and like to correct this language. It has been a drawn-out process. And was the due diligence not done ahead of time on either side? Maybe not.
We've been trying to meet with you since, we've addressed this issue since January. And it's now March 27th, and we're finally getting it in front of you. That's all I'm saying.
We've addressed a number of issues relative to MOUs, things we discussed during those negotiations that we would address. So I will basically disagree with you on that.
To help move this forward, I do have some more questions.
No, absolutely. That's good.
So how would you reconcile the two? Okay, you have 10 days, and then we have to combine these sentences. So rather than have us take a guess, and then you tell us we did it wrong. So receive full pay for the 10 days of leave, but then you still want to include the language, be paid by the town the difference.
After the 10 days.
No, I wouldn't say after
Right,
the 10
that's the thing.
days.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, again, that wasn't what was negotiated. We asked for 10 days. We didn't specifically say that they need to use it first before they have weekend drills and all this other stuff. This is all language that was added in.
No,
that
I
we had
understand
30
that.
minutes to review prior to a deadline.
I understand that, Brandon. What
So
I
could we-
think Salem and I are trying to get to is the fact of, we want to make sure after the 10 days, you're getting made whole if you have military time.
Could we run through like two examples?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say we have an officer who is also a military member.
Yep.
And they know, I'm just going to make up some numbers, that they have to go on military leave for 15 days, or sorry, I won't use the language military leave.
Yep.
They have to go on an exercise for 15 days.
Correct.
So what you would like is that in those 15 days, they could use up to 10 of these military leave days.
Correct.
Let's say they use all 10 of them. That leaves 5 days that then you would ask the town to make up the difference between regular weekly pay and their military compensation.
And that's what I'm trying to get to.
So is that an example accurate?
Yes, I mean, again, we're forcing them to use their military day on a week that they could have just had made up whole, right, instead of a full
Right,
pay.
so that's one scenario. So in those same 15 days, they could use 0 military leave days, and all 15 days, the regular weekly pay, the town would pay the difference between their regular weekly pay and their military compensation for all 15 if they chose to use 0 military leave days.
That is correct. Which would be a cost savings to the town, because you're not paying 100%, you're only paying
Right,
70%.
so why would a member of the military who is a police officer not use use those 10 days just straight off?
Because we work overtime, and so if they have a week, it's all about money, right? At the end of the day, and putting the money in your bank account, and if they have a week that they already have overtime in there, and so they're not gonna see the military money for 2-3 weeks, right?
Right.
But they can be made whole right off or they can balance the loss of wages for a week, because just be made whole by the town of Weare for the portion lost. Now, when they go on their annual training, say, which is, summertime frame, they can use their military leave days, and they can get paid full for their annual training, and so they're not, because you're not gonna get any overtime, so it can balance their budget and, work-life balance. They can still support their family at home.
Okay. So, yeah, given those two examples,
The second
I
one.
feel comfortable with putting this language back, receive full pay for 10 days of leave, and really, I mean, maybe we can just knock it out, maybe there's an otherwise that can be added.
And the town will pay the difference between their regular weekly pay and their military compensation if military days are not used.
Military, yeah, military days are not used.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on.
All right? It's on YouTube. We'll watch it tomorrow. We good on that one? Oh, go
So
ahead.
who's responsible for taking that edit and submitting it to whom for final approval and
You guys
whatnot?
gonna type that up?
We can, Austin, you working tomorrow? Sergeant McGuire can, send that off to our union guy. We can get it to you within 2 days, if not sooner.
That works.
We'll send it to the whole board.
Okay.
And then you guys can send it
Now,
off to
you
Attorney
realize
Roth.
regardless of this is gonna be an MOU, because this is not negotiations, this is a board level. So it's gonna be an MOU regardless of whether it's April 1st or April 15th or whatever. It's still gonna be an MOU in this.
Yeah, we'll have Steve draft up an MOU, that's fine.
No, because it's a board level, it's an MOU.
I get it.
That's, yeah. So, I mean, I know what your goal is, but I just wanna let you know, it's still gonna be an MOU at the end.
No, I get
Yeah,
it.
and I just want you guys to understand, like, our frustration too, right?
Right.
This was negotiated, it's just supposed to be in the contract.
Well, once it's on the ballot, it's out of our hands at this board level.
Well, if we had more than 30 minutes, we might have been able to go
And
through
that's-
it.
So
I
then,
mean-
if we're gonna look
Just for
at our
clarification.
conditions-
That's in the rear, that's in the rear.
Yeah.
That's all in the rear.
Why did we have 30 minutes?
Because we had to send it back and let the town administrator know if we accepted the contract or not as written, because there was a 30-minute deadline until it was submitted to the DRA. That was out of our control.
So when Mark and Steve were back and forth and agreed on the document, which we have an email chain that,
We didn't agree on the document, we agreed on the 8%, because we did not have a chance to review the full.
okay.
Okay. All right,
All right, ready to move on?
12-9.
All right, 12-9, vacation time. Again, this was a tentative agreement during negotiations, and there was no language change at all in the contract. It is not increasing, it's just a clerical cleaning up the language, which was tentatively agreed upon.
And what was the change? You said there was no change, but what was the? There's some penciling
If you
on
go
here,
to
so-
the next page, it will show you what we submitted during negotiations that was tentatively agreed upon.
Is that not exactly the same that,
And it's not
Not the same.
because it's,
0 to 3, or what's it say, less than
Oh.
3 years,
Less than
3,
three.
and less than 5.
oh, okay.
And this was,
There was an extra copy on the table. Wasn't there an extra copy?
Yeah, this is, I just
This,
wanted to
this
see
is the first time I've seen this one.
You can use this one.
Yeah.
So this is just the accrual table that we're talking about here.
Correct.
Okay.
Just change the numbers.
So that it allows a
Down and out.
non-probationary member to accrue in that 0 to 1 year
They,
timeline.
they accrue now anyways. It's just for clerical simplicity, and that's how we calculate it now.
Okay.
Year one is year 0.
Okay.
So it's just cleaning up the verbiage. There's literally no change. Besides the language.
I think it's reasonable.
What's that?
So just so I'm clear, because I haven't got any of this, I'm the one that originally proposed something from 12.9, just how, along with the finance director, how rates are accrued, just how it reads, less than 3 years to less than 5 years. Is that not going in the new one?
That's what the discussion is right now.
Okay, I thought y'all were talking about probationary.
Because, no, what's in there is 1 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to
Correct.
10. So I think there's nothing about probation. I was just using that term.
Yeah, but so no problem with the less than 3?
No.
3 to, okay.
I don't
Thank you.
personally have a problem with it. I don't know if the rest
I
of the
don't
board does.
know, I do remember us reviewing this and, during negotiation. And I don't know why Mark would have
Not put it in there.
changed this table.
I don't think, did he or did he not?
He didn't.
This is just the old contract.
Just missed it.
It's correct. There's no language change in the new contract, hence why we're here talking about it.
Okay, just try to be
Yeah, I don't
patient.
have any
Okay.
problem with it. Again,
No,
and-
we actually accepted this.
and Kevin was there, so that's
Yeah,
the reason why we gotta lean on
accepted
him a
this
little bit.
as- We accepted this during
Okay,
negotiation.
so then I think that's easy.
This
It's
is-
easy to
this
push
is-
through, yeah.
This is the file from the negotiation.
Okay. So I think we're on to
Everything else here is
17-1.
post-negotiation.
17.1 to 17.3, or what's 15?
I thought that was copied.
Yeah, no, we're good. So 17.1 to 17.3, holiday pay. We've had multiple MOUs on this. The language still reads that we're getting triple time and a half in the contract. And part-timers are still getting holiday pay, even though we've tried to get MOUs signed to make it so they only get holiday pay when they work.
Oh, okay.
So that's a $7,000 cost to the town, approximately.
So where is, oh,
Next page is
sorry.
the MOU that was signed
There you go.
back in 2020.
All right, so we just have to include that in now.
We just gotta change the language to
Yes,
add that into the, yes.
include it.
Now Naomi, is that because that was an MOU that was signed in, that should actually be reflected as in the verbiage, but not as an MOU anymore, because it would have been accepted at town meeting,
Yeah, but
Yeah, and prior to the, this 1-year
prior
negotiation.
to this
contract.
negotiation, right. Okay, I just wanna make sure.
not with
So
a
how did we miss
cross-through, I
that
don't
one?
think.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell that got
Not
missed.
with a cross-through, though, because you would have initialed the cross-through of non-probationary.
Right, no, I think, no, the MOU that was signed,
Right, has a cross-through on my copy.
Because the non-probationary, probationary employees are now following the union contract. The only thing that they don't have is grievance procedures and union representation,
and that was
part of
when?
negotiations. To,
This
honestly, it's
time?
to help,
No, when was it done, that's all? This time? This round of negotiations?
yes.
Yes, this round of negotiations.
And that made it into the contract, that's why it's not reflected in this email.
Okay,
That was changed in the contract.
okay. So I think that just needs to be,
My point was, the cross-through,
yeah,
you should have both initialed it.
Right, which didn't get done.
Well, no, so the cross-through just happened as we went through the contract. We pulled up all of our old MOUs that had been signed, and the cross-through is something that we did to reflect
The new language in the
as
contract.
it would be transferred into the contract.
When was that MOU signed?
Back in
2020,
2020.
Okay.
December 30th of 2020.
It was pretty expedited after we learned of the triple time and a half.
But I guess I believe that if it was signed in as this MOU with non-probationary on there, when did non-probationary get removed?
That's part of the
The new contract.
the new contract. We took out non-probationary in a multitude of areas. And honestly, the main reason is for Finance Director Rouse. It makes it a lot cleaner and
No, I'm not disagreeing with it, I just want to make sure the timeline of when this was all removed, that's all.
So if you go
That
through
when,
that-
when non-probationary was removed, that's all I want to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during this
This
round. of
round.
negotiations.
So this fall.
'Cause, yeah, that's
Yes.
not in the red
in
line.
December.
Correct.
So the MOU was signed in 2020.
Yes.
The 2021, 2022 contract, it didn't find its way to that.
There was no 2021, 2022.
We were on a 3-year
Oh, yeah,
contract
that's right,
at that
correct,
time.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
We gotta remember to talk about that. Same thing.
It's,
That's, yeah, no, that's why we're gonna talk about it eventually.
I'll go back to there in a minute.
Yeah. Are we good on that?
I guess, so
Oh, go ahead.
the red line that we, or the edit that we have does not, it still includes non-probationary. So if y'all are making edits,
If you go to the next page. Oops, what does he have?
so this is,
No,
This.
that is the red marked up copy that we received. And
So, yeah.
it wasn't marked off.
so I just want to make sure, if you're
Mark them.
making final changes to send to us, also make that, if we're agreeing to that here. Which I think we are.
Board.
I don't, so I get, all right, now I'm confused.
All right, time out. So article.
I don't have what you got.
What were we talking, holiday? 17.1?
No, same thing. Article 7, page 9.
Article 7.
Commissioner employees shall receive wages and benefits as described in this agreement, but shall not have recourse to Article 8 disciplinary procedure and Article 9 grievance procedure. So it's a new bullet 7.10, which essentially says probationary
Yep.
employees follow the contract.
And that's called out, and that's reflected also 8.2, a couple of others, 9.3. So, yeah, my reading lines up, again, I'm coming in this
Right.
a little cold, but if that was all agreed to, I think that it's fair that that is also scratched in 17.1.
Right, and I have the clean one, that clean.
This is,
And right here, it still
is the
says
benefit of this, too.
17.1, all non-probationary.
And then 17.2, also, you gotta cross out the non-probationary as well. Same logic behind it.
like today, how many people does that impact?
What, the,
Is there anybody probationary?
we have one in the academy right now, we have one vacancy, and we have one in the background process. So it could theoretically affect 3 individuals for 6 months to a year, roughly. No, yeah, Article 10.
Page 11.
See, and in the clean copy, I don't see anything different than the marked up copy. As far as the crossouts of the non-probationary, the bracket around 17.1, the clean copy that I have doesn't reflect any of that change.
Because that's stuff that we went through and located
Yeah, we
through the contract.
located that ourselves when we went line by line to make sure everything jived.
Okay. So I feel, as one member, that this needs to be a revised MOU of December 3rd, 2020.
But
Because the clean copy, I'll call it, was voted on in March. So, at town meeting. So the clean copy is what the voters voted on. That's what they had access to if they wanted to read it, that's what they voted on. I don't have a problem changing it in MOU fashion.
that's fine.
But again, it's just, to me, to make it clean
Yep,
and represent both parties correctly, it needs to be a rewritten MOU of 2020
that's fine.
with that
Which I
missing.
think is the next sheet behind that. October 6th.
That's exactly what it looks like, October 6, 2022.
Keep this in,
Right.
we're gonna have to go
Yep.
back next year to do the MOU.
Yeah, October 6, 2022.
That one is
Yeah.
meant to replace
Yep,
this one.
that looks like, that's exactly what that was for.
Yeah.
So, yep, that looks like exactly what it was for. Looks exactly what it was
So the
for.
next, the second MOU that you guys are speaking about from
October
October
6th,
6,
yeah.
2022, that was the one that essentially, is that the one that removes the holiday for the part-timers unless they work
Yes.
it?
Yeah, did that get signed or no?
No.
You guys have, we've tried to get you guys to sign it a couple times.
Okay.
It just hasn't been signed yet.
Okay. Well, I think that is the one that we need to sign, to make that section correct. Yeah, I would say that's the one we need to sign to make it correct.
So that's just gonna be what, an MOU then?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, all right. we'll
But
finish on this.
it'll rectify the problem.
Correct.
Yeah, because this one actually articulates all full-time employees. It doesn't have the probationary stuff.
Yep.
So we're
Yep.
good to go.
Yeah, so I think that rectifies both problems,
Okay.
both sides.
Let's go back to, are you guys good on the holiday? We good there?
Yep.
Yep. Does anyone have a clean copy of holiday? Like 17.5 is part-time.
It said MOU that we were gonna
It's-
need to, that it hasn't been presented yet.
Yeah. It changes 17, 1, 2, and 3.
What about, there's no 17.5 in there? Yeah,
Not in
it's
this copy.
Not on the MOU. And not, yeah, it's,
Well, there is on
it's
page
still on the clean copy. Yeah, it's still on the clean copy.
17.5's on page 20.
Yeah.
Which talks about the part-time.
Right, regular part-time employees should be eligible for pay for the above listed holidays on a prorated basis. Yeah, if they work it, absolutely, they should get it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if they don't work it, the town shouldn't need to pay that.
That's not there.
Yeah, but that's not there. Okay, so maybe
I
we,
think that was her point, that it doesn't say that it
so
has
maybe
to be
we,
work to earn.
so maybe we rework the October 6 one to include that? Does that sound reasonable?
To what? Include what?
That October 6 MOU,
Yeah.
if we rework, if we put 17.5 in this as well, at the bottom, and include, to repair that 17.5. That would clean up all of 17.
All right, so add 17.5 to this?
Yeah, for the, like we just talked about, the,
Might as well just do the whole thing, add 17.4, so it's all present.
Yeah.
All right, so
Just,
we'll add 4, 5, and 6. You guys good with that?
yeah, that's fine, yeah, that way the whole section's in there.
Done.
17.4, 17.6. All right, we will get that to you here
Okay.
promptly.
I've got to be pedantic, I apologize.
No, you're
On
good.
the 17.2, so going off the October 6th, 17.2, full and part-time should both have a hyphen.
Say that one more time, sorry.
It should say all full hyphen or part hyphen time.
Okay.
It's just spelling, I apologize.
Quick
Oh,
grammatical.
you're good, man.
I got it, yeah.
Quick grammatical. Yeah, okay.
Got 3 years of this.
I'll take it.
All right.
Are we good on holidays then?
I think so. Is the board good on holidays?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Can we double back to Article 10, page 11? That was an MOU. It's gonna be the same thing. We're just gonna need to do an MOU again. It's about the captain flexing his hours, which you guys signed. I don't have the signed version in front of me right now. But you guys signed that, allowing him to stay late.
Remember that. I remember that.
Flex
Yeah.
hours to try to reduce.
So it just needs to be injected in here, is what you're trying to
Yeah, it
say?
needs to be switched to captains.
Oh,
Yeah, because it says
It says
lieutenant.
lieutenant, okay.
okay.
so what page, which one is that?
That's Article 10, which is page 11, according to Sergeant McGuire. So,
Yeah.
hope he's right.
How about hours of work and overtime? Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, after page 11 would be the MOU.
So,
MOU's on the next page, yeah.
so we'll just need to rework that one again.
Yeah, just to change the proper rank, right?
And then,
Okay.
get it
I
ratified.
don't have a problem with that.
So let's.
19.
All right, Article 19 allowances. Similar to Article 12.9, there was a tentative agreement made on the language change, but the language change was not reflected in the draft contract.
Is that attached? Yes.
Yes.
And this was to just specify?
Steve's favorite rule.
Yeah, Jake. The hat rule.
This,
Look at.
who drafted this MOU, this particular MOU?
That was Mark Broth.
Okay. All right.
That's a lot of mouth wording originally.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because it doesn't say, usually it says on the top, it just didn't say. That's all.
Yeah, that was presented to us at negotiations by Attorney Broth.
Go
Okay.
to comp time, types of leave, comp
Okay.
time. Town personnel policy says 45, contract says 40. All right, so we get on Article 19?
I think so. Is the rest of the board on 19?
So it's the first time I've seen it. Has it been agreed to
It was
previously?
T8.
Yeah, it was tentatively agreed upon during negotiations in December.
Okay. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay, okay.
correct.
Okay. All right.
Or, leave, types of leave. So we got a couple of just minute, adjustments too that we'd like to.
Whereabouts?
One was comp time, I believe, when Attorney Broth wrote it, it says that we can accrue up to 40 hours. We were told it was gonna mimic the town personnel policy, and they can get 40.5. Just for simplicity, let's mimic the town personnel
I don't,
policy.
I think we talked about the 40.5, didn't we?
You saved 27 hours overtime, right, for town?
Yeah. Which equates out to 40 and a half, I believe it was.
Correct.
Right. So that, I think we ought to make the math
What's
right.
that?
Yeah, but I think we ought to make the math right if that's the case,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. Okay.
So that's one.
And then we have the detailed MOU.
Is that the consensus of the board, to
Send
make the math right?
Article 19.
How does it read in the personnel policy?
I don't have the
Right there.
exact.
Yeah, you do.
Comp time. In lieu of overtime pay, non-exempt employees may elect with department head approval an hour and a half of compensatory, I can't even say that word, time for an hour of extra work. A maximum of 27 comp time hours or 40.5 regular hours will be allowed to be accrued.
Makes sense
Accrued.
if that's the math.
That's the math,
If
yeah.
that's the math, I think that's what we should
So
do.
what article are you reading?
That's out of our personnel policy, not
That-
there.
so-
It's under Article 10.6 on page 12.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
So that's where it says 40 instead of 40.5.
yeah.
And we didn't discuss that during negotiation.
Yes, we did.
We did?
Yes. We were told it was gonna just mimic the town personnel policy. I said, let's just copy and paste it and call it a day.
and that is in there.
10.6, yeah.
With the
Yes.
exception of,
We added some language that I wanna say is
an
in there.
employee may use compensatory time only on days when no overtime expense
Right.
will be incurred by the town as a result of the employee's absence.
I do remember talking about that.
Yeah, that's.
That's a
what I-
total for the year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I remember. Yeah, and I remember talking about the comp time, so. So we gotta make the math right. So, I don't have a problem with that. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I remember how the personnel policy reads is.
yeah, okay.
It can't be approved.
They're talking. Wait till-
It's the same thing here and now.
Can we, so one other option, or something that was discussed, I don't know if you're gonna recall it or not, is being able to use comp time. If it's gonna create overtime, the only manner to use it, that it creates overtime, is if they're taking it for military leave,
'Cause military leaves already automatically create overtime.
theoretically.
Another offset for the,
So run that situation by.
So a situation is, they have 30 hours,
Their 10
they use their 10 days of military leave, right? Now the town pays the difference, they have 40 hours in the bank for comp time. Well, they're gone anyways, it's gonna create overtime, but you going for military orders, they can use the comp time that will create overtime if it is for the sole purpose of military obligations.
Well, I think I think you guys can, the way I feel is the comp time was what you guys, at your discretion.
No, but we have it in there
You
that
can't
we,
use it if it's gonna create overtime. So comp time's more for like if we're doubled up on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah, but
and you want a day
I get
off.
that. No, I understand the theory behind that, as far as not using it and creating overtime, but I think when Uncle Sam says you're gonna be here, I don't think you have an option.
correct, but I think we need to, if we're gonna allow us to do it that way, I think we need to have some language, whether it's an MOU saying that you can use comp time for
Or it's a military
military.
exemption.
Yeah, that can, however, we can work that out down the road, but
There's a cost to comp time when it's not used.
what is
Right,
the-
right.
So I would ask what the cost is.
So if you're here for 52 weeks a year and you save a week of comp, we have to pay you that extra week of comp that we don't budget for.
But you would pay us the time in overtime anyways, because we're earning it at overtime, so it's a one-for-one.
This is just the
correct?
military, this is only for the military
Yes.
aspect of it.
Aspect.
That's it.
Yes.
No, anybody can, are you talking about who can earn comp time?
No,
No,
she
no,
said,
no, no,
so
no,
they're
no.
saying that there's a cost to accruing comp time.
Whether you pay straight time or you're paying me overtime, you're still paying me.
Right, well, I mean, I think we pay it regardless. Whether you bank it or not, you're gonna pay it regardless. Whether you bank 40 hours or not, we still gotta pay it at the end of the year.
Correct.
Whether we pay it in
How do you
overtime,
save it if you're gonna be paid the extra time?
no,
To
well,
use it during Christmas.
that's what I'm saying, well, what I'm saying is if they bank 40 hours,
We're gonna pay them.
we're gonna pay them overtime now, or we're gonna pay them later,
So,
right, as
but at
comp
the
time,
end that you, all right, whatever. It's
Yeah.
fine.
so.
There's no cost.
No,
I mean, it's
I don't-
written into the contract, so.
I don't, I guess, I wouldn't have a problem with it in a military aspect only.
And that's the only time we would ever even suggest using it if it's gonna create overtime.
But let me ask this. Is it mission critical in this 1 year? Is that, because there's gonna be some verbiage with that, obviously, to make it pan out right. Is that mission critical for this 1 year CBA?
Can you wait 6 months?
Or can we wait till the next round of negotiations?
Honestly, our guys are happy with the contract passing, but
I'm just asking, this particular
Yes.
one, yeah,
We're fine.
I'm just asking.
We'll wait till next, I mean,
Yeah, but make sure we get it. so
Yeah,
we're not-
don't lose track of it, write it down, inject it in here.
No, absolutely.
So when we come to the table, we can go, oh yeah, remember when we talked about?
Yep.
Yeah, that's my only question. I'm not trying to discredit it.
No,
I
absolutely.
wanna see it in there, but
That's fair
that's gonna have to require
Yeah.
Some language.
Steve,
I get that.
language,
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
That's fair enough.
And that's gonna kick the can further down the road, which we already talked about, I don't wanna do.
Exactly.
No,
That's what I'm trying to get to.
So one thing that we did not discuss, we're hoping we can do an MOU on, is just allowing union members to have personal time. Right now, if I gotta go to a doctor's appointment, I need to use sick time or vacation time. We don't have the ability to burn up, we would ask that the union contract mimics the town personnel policy to allow guys to have 24 hours of personal time to be used. It's not accruing anything, it's us using sick time, but what it does is it makes it so it
Do you-
doesn't go against your bonus
Do
time.
you have, so what do you have now?
Sick time and vacation time,
You just mentioned bonus time. Do you have bonus time?
yes. If you don't use sick time. But if I'm going to bring my son to a doctor's appointment,
Yep.
I gotta use a sick day, then I don't get a bonus day. You know, or I gotta, we're all about mental health and health and fitness and all that, right? So it would allow guys to not have a negative action per se, to go to the doctors and get a yearly physical to make sure you're healthy.
That's
Or a
understandable.
mental health day, someone has a rough night here.
Yeah, no, it's
bad,
perfectly
goes into
understandable.
the night, they shouldn't be penalized.
So-
You don't want someone here not in the right frame of mind.
So you're looking to add 3 days per person of personal time? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, but it'll be used, you'll have personal, but it's not gonna add, it's just, instead of using a sick day, you'll get that choice of use.
Do you want to, are we looking to change, so, I'm using round numbers because
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
okay? You have 40 hours vacation, you have 40 hours sick time.
Yep.
Are you looking to change it to 40 hours vacation time, 32, or 24 hours of sick time and 24 hours of personal time.
No, so we're looking to make it the same way the town personnel policy is, and the way it reads is that they have up to 24 hours to use of personal time, which comes out of their sick bank, that it would not penalize them for a bonus day.
Okay.
So if someone needs to leave early. and
So,
use
so the
2
bucket,
hours,
the
right?
bucket of time,
Comes out of your sick bank.
the bucket of time doesn't change.
Correct.
Correct.
That was my question.
Yeah, we're not looking to add on more time.
The bucket of time, it's just it's the terminology.
Yep.
It's the
And so that way
terminology.
the guys will
So
know.
it doesn't affect the bonus.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a doctor's appointment or a mental health thing.
Right, but again, now I understand. I just wanna make sure it wasn't
That's
gonna be tipping more into the
It's
bucket.
been a
of-
while since I was hourly. When did that change the personnel policy?
I don't remember, when was that? 16? I think we rewrote it, 16 or 18?
Well, that's when I went salary, so that's probably why I don't
Right
remember.
around that time, yeah.
Well, that was a decision you had to make when I was hourly,
Yep, absolutely.
is it what you wanted to use. I mean, there's plenty of times I used vacation time because I didn't want to screw up my bonus time.
Exactly.
But then the town made it so you couldn't accrue bonus time, so 6.5 doesn't either anyway, you know. When you could accrue it was a big deal.
Yep.
But when you couldn't.
So what is when you do a sick day, what qualifies as sick day?
I'm going to a doctor's appointment, I'm home with my kids, I got the sniffles.
Okay,
I got a mental health day.
okay. So but there's a way, is there a classification of what a sick day is? A definition of what a sick day is?
Yeah, I'm sure it's in,
Used for an illness or injury of an employee or family illness
Okay.
residing in the household.
Okay,
And FMLA qualify leaves to supplement income derived from short-term disability. It's on page 15, just under 12.8, second paragraph. But then in 3 days, you have to have a physician's note if you're gonna use more than 3 days.
okay. That's the FMLA, et cetera, okay. Chief, do you have any input on that particular? No, I think so.
I support it.
Okay.
That's standard pretty much in our profession.
So you would reclassify the sick time though? That's what you're looking to do, is reclassify a block of sick time as personal time?
no, it would
They're
just,
looking
it
to
was,
add
it would still be sick time, but we have a clause that we can use personal time, and so it comes out of our sick bank.
From the sick bank?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly how the town personnel policy has it. So the town personnel policy reads, personal time is provided to full and part-time eligible employees for personal business. Eligible employees will be allowed to use up to 24 hours of their sick leave as personal time. Personal time may be used as a full day or in hourly increments. Personal time will require pre-approval by a supervisor or department head, except for emergencies. Use of personal time will not affect calculations for bonus leave.
So to me, it sounds reasonable, but since I don't have it in writing, I wish I had a chance to kind of read it and just really think about it.
No, absolutely.
I guess my gut feeling is I'm okay with it, but I'd want to see it in print.
No, we can write up an MOU and
As
you guys
one
can hash it
member,
out.
as one member, I'd be okay with changing that, but again, I'd want to see it in print before I
No, absolutely,
say
that's
yes
fair,
or
that's
no.
fair enough.
What does the other board members feel?
Well, we've all agreed to that
Okay.
previously,
Okay.
that we're not gonna
Right.
entertain anything unless we have it in writing 24 hours before,
Right,
so.
yeah, so,
it's
yeah,
kind
so,
of a- yeah,
so
I
have
mean,
it,
it's-
have it in writing.
It
Yeah.
seems fine, it's just, again, just how that hour's tracked, I'm gonna pop out for an hour of personal time, who's watching the store, how you track all that,
Well, it has to be approved by the department head still.
Right.
Or a supervisor, whatever.
okay?
And no, you guys can't approve your own. So,
Do that anyways.
so if you could draft that up, and then kick it off to
Question on this or no?
board members, town administrator, and,
Absolutely.
Attorney Broth?
Do you want to, so we don't include him on any emails because there's a fee when we email him. I'm sure there is.
Okay.
That's why we do not send him
I'm
anything.
just thinking timeline, but
We can have
better
Steve-
yet, kick it to us.
Steve can kick it to them. Because Steve and him negotiate all the time.
Yeah, no. We'll send it to them and they can send it up. There's a bill. We're not gonna get,
Okay, all right, send it to us, send it to the town administrator.
all right.
So,
Sounds
okay.
good. I think that's all we got for now unless you guys have any questions or you want us
I
to
don't have any
speak on the firearms
I
range.
guess I've got one
ahead.
question, just because, I guess I received, I think, from the town administrator, because I don't know where else I would've gotten it, this draft MOU for short staffing overtime.
Oh, yes, thank you. That
Yeah, I was
another
gonna
thing
say,
on-
what you're not gonna, yeah, that's on our agenda.
Yep.
And really, what jumped out at me is, unless I'm just doing the math very wrong, the math seems off by a factor of 100. In that, I'm seeing 1.65% of standard base pay. I would think that would be 165%.
That is 165%. 0.95 is 95%. 1.65 is 165.
It's not. Right.
Yeah.
Decimal point.
Boss.
We're happy to sign it the way you got it.
Yeah, right. We'll get them cheap.
Point.
1.65 I'm sold, yeah,
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
sign it that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you get like $1.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're okay with that, we're okay with that.
We're all right with it.
Yeah.
And then the language at the end, so I had that red line, and then the very, very last sentence, any reduction in, so as read, any reduction, or as written, any reduction in coverage hours, this MOU becomes null and void. That doesn't really,
So that means that if,
well, that's not grammatical. Any reduction in coverage hours, I would say, will render this MOU null and void.
okay, I'm good with that. And we actually, we modified this one more time. It's beneficial to the town. It clarifies what, so if we hire a certified officer with 2 years' experience, they immediately count as a second officer.
Okay.
Just to
Drop down a bucket.
yeah, just to clarify what would qualify, because they're beneficial to us. They can get out on the road, they have experience, they can be a second officer, we can tell them, hey, go to this post, and they can handle their own,
Right.
right? Nicky, new guy, we gotta stay with them and everything else.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's understood. That's
We
understood.
can make that modification. Do you guys want to have any other conversation that you want to have on that prior to us departing and cleaning that language up?
Chief, where's our current staffing at?
Currently vacant 2, we do have a certified officer we should bring in the middle of next month for approval for you to hire. If you do decide to hire him, he would start as soon as we could get him, yeah.
So we're down currently 2, though?
2, correct.
Okay.
Down 2, he would bring us back up to just down 1,
Okay.
and we do have a couple more in hiring processes.
Okay, all right. Okay,
So
good to know.
just for full transparency, we're technically, by that MOU, we're technically down 3 because we have that one in the academy. So he would not count as a position for the purposes of that MOU until he gets out of the academy and he's in phase 4 of the field training program.
So what,
3? I believe it was 4, sir.
does he have a date?
That he graduates middle of June of this year, and then
What's that?
This whole program has to start.
this whole program's about 16 weeks on that. But it's only, you only get that rate if you're filling an overtime shift that is vacant. So if I'm signing up for a grant detail, I'm not getting that extra stipend. I'm not getting it if I'm going to court. It's only if I am going,
Okay, well, rewrite it,
Yeah.
send it to us,
Yeah.
town administrator and board members,
Yep.
and we'll, that way,
Ricky,
and we'll
one
review it.
last thing is just, where's this, who's paying for this?
what do you mean?
Is there a line item somewhere?
The overtime line, that you have
Yeah,
a
it was-
savings and personnel line.
It was gonna come from the overtime line. That was the initial conversation, I think, that was had, when this was presented, back when.
January 6th.
Yeah. I'm
So
not
back in
fa-
January.
Just to let you know, I'm not in favor of this one as written right now, personally.
As written, but you guys are gonna clean it up,
That's fine.
so.
Okay.
I've got nothing else.
Do you have any questions on firearms or?
So, we did do a little research and a little digging, and the firing range that was approved by this board in October.
So one thing the union would like to bring up, if somebody could give us an example of how we do what we want.
What? How you doing, what you want? You want to explain yourself?
Yeah, they do what they
I-
want.
I know where you're going with that, and I think that's a topic for another conversation.
It was said in public.
I understand that,
But that wasn't on our agenda tonight, so
Yeah.
we're not dealing with it.
so.
Okay.
We're talking about the MOU.
Okay, can the union get on the agenda for next week, please?
Yep,
Thank you.
yep, we can do that. Okay, thank you.
So on that same note, that what they're referring to is.
Uh,
We're talking
So, all right, we'll move on to, which I think we can X off the last bullet point. And then we can, what's that? Yeah. We can X that one off, we can X that one off. So we can go over the, town administrator's job description.
Do we have an updated one, a final one, or not
Or
a
did we?
final, but one that's correct?
I shared it,
Get it, so.
yeah, I shared it with an email.
What's that? Yeah.
I
okay.
never got it. I didn't get a bunch this week, so.
When was that, today, Naomi?
No, no, that was, it was over the weekend.
I guess I didn't miss it.
It was the same day you sent out the police chiefs, right?
I don't know, I flooded your emails.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
Benji
know,
kept
I
bouncing
went
back.
through, but I guess I
Yeah,
missed
get
it.
administrator, or police chiefs. If I get any of them,
Did you get the
Kevin-
reply from Mark Roth from today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that I did get. Oh, was that the one I was on?
No, I mean, I can go make copies.
No, no,
just thought I got-
that was the cleaned up copy
So
though.
this is the copy that got sent him, and this is the reply that came over the weekend that I sent to you this morning.
Yes, that I did get. Okay, yes, so the reply came this
So do we
morning,
need
excuse me.
Yeah,
copies of
I was
this?
gone all day, I didn't see it.
I didn't reply, I just didn't
I
get
read
the
mine.
description.
Yeah, I think
Read
it
mine.
probably wouldn't hurt for a couple, at least a couple copies.
The only description I got is DPW director, and Kevin gave me his copy last week, so.
Do we need that one as well? Does anybody need that one?
Do we need
Before I
DPW?
go to the
No,
copy machine more than once?
everybody's all set.
On the DPW
No, I'd
one.
like the
On the
DP
DPW.
I'd
Oh,
like that, so I
okay.
don't have that printed out.
Only one, two?
Two. Two, I think. Unless somebody in the crowd wants one.
And we're not gonna do anything with the radio, because no one's here.
I don't think we have to, no. No.
Okay.
Chief, you don't have a radio update, do you?
Because that was on our agenda too.
That was under other business.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to do. I believe we heard, town administrator describing the balloons going up. That's
Yep.
the same stage.
That's the same stage, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing new.
I had,
They haven't done that yet, though.
No, no.
I got,
He was supposed to give me a thing to sign. Okay. I gotta have a invoice.
Yeah, that's fine. Chief?
so just with the question, I saw all the radio documentation this week. So I'm curious, and you may not be the right person to ask, who is, if there's a critical software bug, I'm curious who is responsible for updating switches, routers, whatnot?
Our IT guy, Doug.
Yeah, so,
As far as in the radio systems?
yep.
Radio
Yeah, because there's a whole rack for each location.
Right.
With switches, routers, everything. And so I'm thinking, yeah, who's responsible? I just want to make sure that it's,
It would be in the service contract with the vendor two-way.
and so what I saw was there was an annual update, which is way too long for security issues. So
For
I'm,
radio, because it's for radio components, that's not, I don't think that's too long. For
no,
computer
I'm talking
components, yes.
software, because it's like, I'm talking the network stack,
okay.
the routers, switches, the
I
computers.
think that's all at Goffstown. We wouldn't have anything like that on our end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just
So that's-
receiving.
yeah, I just wanna make sure I'm
sorry, yeah, the
understanding.
computer console would be down in Goffstown.
Well, it looked like there was a full-up network stack for each antenna location.
There's going to be a rack mount, yes, but it's
Yes.
gonna be radio equipment, not computer equipment.
I mean, there was, like I say, a switch, a router, that all runs software.
Okay. Well, we'll
So-
have to look into it.
So I'm just curious, because those come up, and they could be a big deal. Somebody could come up with a software exploit that knocks our radios out,
We will look into it.
so.
Thank you.
Yeah, under recommendation of the Motorola dealer that we have, that, you know, but, okay. All right, thank you. All set? Okay. Oh, Beth, make the copies?
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah, yeah.
Both of them, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
All right, so this was the, so it looks like Attorney Broth really only weighed in on, he reviewed both, but he only really weighed in on town administrator's contract.
Firing.
Or, I'm sorry, not contract.
Firing and hiring.
Yeah, it was the, yeah, job description, excuse me, not
Yes.
contract. And it was, the only questions, suggestions, concerns he had was section 3. It says, while clearly identifying those positions where the board reserves appointment authority, the job description does not clearly indicate whether the, oop, and there it goes, gone.
Basically, are we authorizing the town administrator to be empowered to hire and fire? The current draft reads as if we do. But that would be, boards can do that, if I'm doing this from memory, Mark's comment, but boards are allowed,
He said that was if we had a town manager, we would do that,
yes,
rather than a town administrator. So we would not do that.
right. So we might want to remove that portion of the language, even though our town administrator has in the past let people go.
Yeah, and I guess if the board's fine with that, it's,
And that's why it was included in the original draft.
makes sense to
So
me.
there's some insubordination happening or something
Mhm.
that's toxic to the town. We can't
Right.
wait 2 weeks for us to get together to okay the dismissal.
Well, I think that's what emergency meetings exist for.
Yeah, but that,
Well-
but that's the reason in the past. A janitor,
We still have to do 24-hour notification if we're having an emergency
Sure.
meeting.
yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if what could have transpired within 24 hours.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, I.
Might not be.
I don't think we should give that up
Okay.
as a board.
We still do generally, but in the past, there has been a situation where the town administrator has relieved an employee.
Yeah.
And if
That
you
was the
wanted, if
final
you wanted
decision,
to,
or that was put on leave until the board made a
Right.
decision?
Not, yeah, well, we just dealt with a leave situation, but I think in the past, there's been, a person was let go, just because at the time they had to go.
yeah, and well, that's where I was about to go, is if that's a situation you want to address, I would say, sure, we could empower the town administrator to put someone on leave until the Board of Selectmen can make a final decision.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm
I'm okay with it
that.
anyway.
I'm all right.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with us having it.
Yeah.
So, it's just, that's what his comment was referring to, as stated.
So I guess same question that I asked them, who's taking edits and who's going to send it out to us?
Oh, it's,
So I was
Okay.
gonna ask you where you're gonna add and what you're gonna change. You guys gotta come up with your wording. I don't mind fixing it.
right.
But what section of, what?
You
part
said it
of
was under,
section?
under 3
It's-
or under
It
4?
says section 3.
Three.
Section-
He was saying it was missing.
Oh, it was missing. Okay, I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see
Yeah,
this.
so we don't have the language to clarify
Okay.
that we would
Right.
maintain hiring and firing decisions.
All right, so would it change the title, the heading from appointments to appointments and,
Dismissals?
I would say dismissals. That was the word I was gonna use.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. And then,
And do you wanna add another bullet?
I'm thinking we're probably gonna end up having to, yeah. I don't know how you'd craft that. Any,
I mean, I feel like we could start with the wording of the second bullet point, kind of tweak it. So rather than, that's with regards to the town administrator discussing with department heads.
On hiring.
Right, so, prior to, well, maybe not.
yeah, but that,
The town administrator is empowered to place employees on some kind of leave. I don't know if we need that.
maybe as a third bullet, we put, prior to dismissal, the town administrator is authorized to place a employee on leave.
Yeah,
pending-
or final dismissal by the Board of Selectmen.
With pending, pending meeting of the Board of Selectmen type thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, prior to.
If deemed necessary or something.
Yeah, if deemed necessary, yeah. Yeah, that at least gets the
Well,
individual
by whom?
out of the, huh?
If deemed necessary by whom?
The town administrator. To,
I just, again, I think,
yeah, to clarify, just to put them on
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
yeah,
By the town administrator.
yeah. So she's writing feverishly, we'll wait for her to get done writing, and then we'll hear it back, just to make sure.
Prior to dismissal, comma, town administrator has authority, if deemed necessary, to put employee on immediate leave until the board
Can convene.
Can convene,
can
Yeah.
convene. Does that work?
does that work?
Sure.
And just to make it a little bit more like the previous, prior to dismissing current employees, just because it's prior to presenting potential employees.
Or making recommendation.
Oh,
That's what she would be doing. She'd be making a recommendation to the board
yeah,
for termination of the
Yeah,
employee.
I feel like that's covered by some of the other bullet points about
Yeah.
sitting in these meetings and making recommendations and
Right.
whatnot.
Oh,
But, if it's just about,
So to go to Salem, prior to dismissal of current employees, town administrator has authority, if deemed necessary, to put employee on leave immediately until the board can convene.
I think that sounds pretty
That work?
reasonable, yeah, that works.
do we need to specify what kind of leave? Unpaid leave, paid leave?
Usually it's unpaid.
Okay.
Unpaid, you said?
It's on a paid leave situation because you're always
Right.
innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, so,
Yeah, can we just
yeah,
throw that?
So
I think
it's
that
on
should be-
paid leave?
on paid leave, yeah,
Paid leave.
yeah.
That's what's happened in the past.
Which
So, One
again,
more time.
if, yeah, they're good.
Prior to dismissal of current employees, town administrator has authority, if deemed necessary, to put employee on paid leave immediately until the board can convene. Does that work?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then change it to appointments / dismissals.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He didn't address. Yeah, the DPW was sent to him as well.
Yeah, but he didn't see, he said review both of them,
Yes, we did.
yeah.
Because I put them in both attachments.
He said they're both consistent with, other towns, communities.
Can I just ask a couple of questions on that one? I see.
The
Where-
town administrator
No.
one?
We're not quite to the
Oh,
DPW one yet.
you guys
We're,
brought
wor-
that
we're
up.
working towards it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, put the cart before the horse. Go on.
Well, you guys brought it up, so.
Yeah, no, we're gonna discuss it.
I don't want to assume that there's no change, but it appears there's no change.
Right, right. So, let me poll the board on the town administrator's job description. Is there anything else that we would like to see interjected, et cetera?
Have a few red lines.
Okay.
Just some of it's grammar, some of it's content, because I know, so I guess my process for this was, I received this draft, which was the outcome of the March 13th meeting, which was prior to us. And then I found, because I know this had come from similar towns, so I found some of the similar towns, Nevada, South Carolina, Sterling, Massachusetts, Wyndham, Massachusetts, found edits they had made, and just confirmed. And then I watched the YouTube video of the 313 meeting, following along to make sure everything had been made. So I can start from the top. Or go kind of, so All right, the second paragraph, there was a request by the board at that meeting to edit in accordance with these town policies, I'm sorry, in accordance with these policies to become in accordance with town policies, and that edit was not made.
Okay. So that was under the first paragraph.
Second paragraph,
Second paragraph, excuse me.
Third line down.
Yep.
I
sorry.
didn't
Yep.
catch up.
Yep, yep.
So the first sentence is where you added?
It was second sentence, third line, middle of the third line.
Oh,
Day-to-day operations of the town in accordance with, it says these policies, but at that meeting, it
Right.
had been requested to edit it to say town policies.
okay, thank you.
A little bit lower, just for consistency, it says his/her, but throughout the rest of the documents, it says his or her. It's kind of minor, but,
All right, so,
So that's a question.
yeah.
Did you see the corrections that were being requested in the MOU was to cross his/her out and put their? THEIR.
should we do that instead?
Should we do that, being consistent?
That's fine.
Doesn't matter
Yeah,
to me.
I'm good with that.
Care about consistency more than.
Yeah,
anything.
I would
I'm
be,
just saying, I noticed in
Yeah.
theirs, it was crossed out there, crossed
Yeah.
out there. crossed
So
out-
this-
'cause we
this
always
is-
did his or hers.
I think there is probably more appropriate.
Unlocked or locked outside, what do you want?
Unlocked.
Unlocked?
Yep, thank you.
So I can fix the there through the his/hers.
Yeah, and so there's one his/her, and then the rest were his or her.
Yeah, but I think we should
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
switch all of them.
I'm just saying,
over.
like, when you do the final replace, you're gonna see
Yeah.
both. Partway through that, and this is a recommendation on my part, keeps the Board of Selectmen advised of their activities and decisions. I'd like to add in a timely manner, just,
So repairs, reports, and recommendation.
same line. Keeps the Board of Selectmen advised of their, what will become their activities and decisions, and then just to add to the end of that, in a timely manner. Just so we don't face the problem of, 2 months later, I did this thing. It's like, well, that would've been nice to know.
But I think it's your, you guys can decide. It says keeps the board advised of, my activities. I think theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be his or her.
Yeah.
Kind of like I did when I reported back to you that I wasn't gonna make the meeting because of the reason.
Right. Yeah,
That was timely.
that was timely, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's just the definition of it, what is timely, right?
yeah, define
mean-
time.
Yeah, well, that's why I think, and this is the job, it has been discussed before, job description versus, job posting. I think a job posting would have a more bucketized, this is
Yeah.
kind of what we're
No,
going for.
they're apples and oranges, so I understand. But it's just, well, each of us could have a different definition of
What timely
timely.
means, right?
Sure.
Because one could mean 2 days, and one could think, yeah, well, given the
How
project,
about-
given the project could be 2 months, given the size of the project, whatever it is. So I don't know what timely would be the definition of,
Right, that's what I'm.
depending on the size of the
So
project,
we currently get the administrative report
weekly.
But
weekly.
you
Now.
got it here.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Okay.
guess,
How about,
I mean, just say that then, in a
Weekly.
weekly,
Update.
weekly
Yeah.
town administrator report.
we do,
Well, that's what I'm saying, you just say it, just write it down.
yeah. But what I was trying to say is that weekly report has to stay current, okay? So, in other words, I think that's where you're going, Salem, is that to keep things current. Use the word timely manner.
And that's just to fit with the grammar of the rest of the sentence.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah, some of which, again, was a draft and you're taking certain things for granted, but, yeah, okay.
you okay to add that? That's
Rec-
okay to add that?
Recommendations for the board.
With the
of
weekly
Selectmen.
administrative report?
So keeps the Board of Selectmen
Would
advised.
would it be better for appropriately instead of timely? And the
Well,
and the
I think
reason
we're
I s-
scratching timely entirely.
Oh, okay.
And specifying, and that's my understanding of the back and forth there. Keeps the Board of Selectmen advised of, I do think there's a little confusing.
Well, I
But
don't care, I can leave his or her.
I kind of like his or her now, now that you've said that.
Better than his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So advised of his or her activities and decisions in a weekly report, or weekly,
Administrative report, that's how it's titled.
Okay, weekly administrative report, okay, that's fine, yep.
you just tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
I think, so at the very, very, very last sentence of section 1, it says that the town administrator is subject to annual review by the Board of Selectmen. I think we should set the expectation and say the town administrator will receive an annual review from the Board of Selectmen. Again, I'm considering somebody viewing this job description, and
From the outside.
I think it would be nice to know, okay, I will be reviewed annually instead of just, whenever they feel like it.
That sound reasonable? I think that's the objective of this board.
That is the intent,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I don't
So what do you
see,
wanna say, the town administrator
Will receive an annual review from the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
On 2.2, well, it was minor. Yeah, the fourth bullet was edited to remove some of the other software, and so there doesn't need to be a comma after office anymore, but whatever.
No.
Whatever. 2.3, there is now a residency requirement, so I think it's strange to say there is not a requirement, but you have to live within 45 minutes. I would say that,
It is a resident
yeah, because it is a requirement now.
It is, you take no out.
I would say the town administrator must live within a 45-minute radius, and I would specify of the town offices, because Ware's pretty big.
Yeah.
how about, let's rewrite the whole thing.
You scribbled it out.
Yeah, literally.
I mean,
The ti- let's go simple. The town administrator must live within 45-minute radius of the town office.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Good idea.
Nailed it.
Okay, and we already talked about section 3.
So the first bullet point, it says finance director, we have a finance administrator. And then the very last word on page 2, we don't have a personnel handbook, we have personnel policy manual.
Okay.
I know it's tedious, but just, because again, if somebody came to the website and they see this and they say, oh, let me go look for the handbook, and they don't find it.
They don't have a handbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Section 4, second bullet, just to line up with the tense of the other one, the other three start with supervises, administers, conducts, well, and the other one's kind of off too, but just to edit the second one to say develops objectives.
All right, wait 1 second, you went from 3 to 2. Did I not hear that correctly? So on 4,
Section 4, second bullet, develops objectives,
Instead of development of, develops.
just to line them all up.
So they're all in the same tense.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, you give me the thumbs up.
go ahead.
Okay, just to make the last bullet point a little bit more future-proof, where it says continuous contact with specific boards, one of them being the Board of Health, which we don't have, we have a health officer. I would just scratch, really, I would say continuous contact with the boards, commissions, committees, and departments that comprise the town.
Contact with boards, commissions.
Boards, commissions, and really it's,
That opens that up to everything.
really
in
it's
town.
taking the last part of that, and
Yeah.
I'm only adding committees,
Oh,
because.
that's fine, yeah, I get it.
So with continuous contact with the boards, commissions, committees, and departments that comprise the town.
I think that summarizes it,
So would that-
puts it in the
so
future.
Would that include trustees? Like library
Yeah.
trustees?
Yeah, trustees of the trust funds.
I think that's where it was all boards, commissions,
Yeah, I don't know, is that already a board, a commission, or a committee?
yeah, trustees, yeah.
Trustees, yeah.
Did you get that?
So,
Okay.
continuous contact with the boards, commissions, committees, and departments that comprise the town.
Boards, commissions, committees, and departments.
Okay?
6, this one may be a little bit more contentious. Just where it ended, and I know there was some discussion last time about making reports available to the public upon request, and then it says and or when appropriate. I think that should be with regards to following well, let me see what I wrote down.
RSAs.
These reports shall be made available to the public and either stop right there or, that's my preference, they shall be made available to the public.
Period. Yeah.
But if we had to tighten it down, when allowed by all federal, state, and local laws and regulations. But I would prefer to just say they will be made available to the public.
Made available.
Yeah, but I think we have to put upon request because we can't have somebody just come in willy-nilly because theoretically she may get nothing done. If they just pop in and said, I want to view this, then.
But that's the thing.
But that's to me, that's a request.
Right.
So.
So I'm saying flip it to, let's get it set up where public is default, and then you don't have to worry about the requests.
But I think there has to be a request in writing for documents and stuff like, some documents, not all.
Something-
But these are particular documents. These are complete records of the financial and administrative activities of the town.
So it's an open door policy.
Correct.
I
That's,
guess I'm trying to understand.
Like, in my head, we end up at, hey, these people keep bugging me. I'm done filling out this form, just like the minutes. Let me just post it, and boom, nobody's ever gonna ask for this because they can go download it. And then there are things that cannot be posted according to federal, state, and local laws and regulations, and those do not get posted. And if requested, you would say no because.
I would be okay with adding the law, the local and federal law, et cetera. But I would, as one, would still want to keep it in there upon request. That's all.
Pursuant to local, federal, state laws? I don't know, I'm just trying.
At the end, yeah, after that. Because like you said, or when appropriate, but I think you could take when appropriate out and put the state, federal, et cetera
Yeah.
laws.
Well, I'd still prefer,
So there was a request during my public hearing back in December to put mine and chief's evaluation up on the website. That's not appropriate.
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
yeah, and I think that would fall under, in that case, 91C.
But even then, that's an employment thing. I mean, that's not part of putting it up on the website. And that was a request.
Right, and I'm saying that you would not post that because the law says, one, you can't, but we would be saying, don't do that.
Right.
But it's because the RSA don't do it.
But someone can request it and that
And
would
you say
be a
no.
denial.
Right, but what I'm saying is they shouldn't even have to request things that they are allowed to access
Right.
because they're just out there already. Things that they cannot
I'm
access.
trying to think of what's not available, I guess. I'm just not,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure
well,
out.
my thing is, I just want to make sure that upon request, my thing is a timeline, right? Because upon request, if there's a written document that says, can you produce it in 3 days, 5 days, whatever, that way there's some kind of, it's a reasonable expectation, right? Because to me, leaving it to, I want to say, again, and I'm not trying to hide anything.
I'm just trying to understand.
What I'm saying is if you just leave it at public, to me, that says that, you know, Joe citizen can walk in at any time and say, I want to see this. And it is a request, you're right, but it's a request right now. And then it's, what is the town administrator, what is the finance director going to get done if everybody comes in and bombards it?
But that is what the language upon request continues to allow. I'm saying if you scratch that and they show up and say, I want this, you can say, oh, it's on the website. Get out of here.
If it's there, but a lot of the documents aren't there, right?
And then you say, well, I legally have
So is
5
this-
days to get it to you.
Yeah, so
Or
is
deny
this,
the request.
so is this part of the town administrator job description, or is this part of policy?
Well,
Oh.
it's record maintenance, so the records should be there.
Right, but is that a policy rather than a job description?
I mean, the job,
How-
it
how to
says
facilitate
that
it.
they shall be made available. So if you want, we can say they shall be posted pursuant to 91.
So I think the intent of that is that when requests are made, the town administrator is the implementation tool to make sure that the people do receive them. Okay, I go in and I fill out a right to know form, okay? and I hand it to the town administrator, it is her job to make sure that that doesn't fall between the cracks, that I am supplied with the information that I requested, provided the information per the RSA's is available to the public. I think that's the intention of that job description, not to designate the policy of how we're gonna operate, or what we're going to
How we're
make
gonna
public.
release, the policy of how we're gonna release documents.
I mean,
etc.
I disagree. It says these reports, so the only thing we're quibbling about is upon request. These reports shall be made available to the public upon request. So,
Yeah, we're not quibbling about anything. I'm just trying to interpret whether we're creating a policy within the job description by saying that it'll be not, all
But it-
information will be made public.
you could argue that about every single line of the way we tailor this is how the job operates. So that's how we expect somebody to act. Yeah, that's how we expect somebody to act. And the town administrator is an important role that governs a whole lot
Yeah.
in this town.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to, I mean, at the end of the day, people are gonna have to they'll make a request if it's not up on the website. Most people that are tech savvy and will use the website, I mean, that's the way they're gonna acquire their information. Considerable amount of the town doesn't acquire information via the website. They do show up at her doorstep, asking for it.
Well, then the answer is the same then of, hey, they're with the minutes or whatever. Just
Yeah.
same thing of, oh, we make those public downstairs, wherever I don't know, I'm just saying that.
Right. And the reason to remove request again?
Really just to set that standard. Like I said, this would almost certainly be the most contentious thing I said.
One way or the other, you can put a request in or not, but if they're there, if they're available, they're not gonna put a request in.
So I spent a couple of emails today with a resident to put in a right to know request as to who requested what's on this town hall sign. So it's kind of crazy things that I get that
There needs to be
I'm
some kind of
not- yeah,
timeline.
I was gonna say, but I wouldn't, the town hall, how you ask for the lettering is already up there. So I guess it's on the website, but again, it takes time to answer, and I don't wanna be portrayed to like snap back, but it's one of those things that does eat up a couple of emails, because what was returned very simply took another big, long email back as a stab at it, you know what I mean? I just,
Yeah.
That-
Well,
there's
but I
just some
feel like
things that are funny.
leaving upon request opens you up to that more. You're saying people have to come to you for this information. I'm just trying to say, if we can put it somewhere, they don't have to come to you, which I think makes the town administrator's job
So-
easier.
So I'm just trying to give you a couple of different ones. Is a gentleman wanted us to search the building permits for 3 years. And then he wanted us to put it in a table for the cost of the home and, the assessment of the home today and when the permits got it. So according to the state RSA, as long as it's available, so what was made available to him was the address, the map and lot number, and that was pretty much
Yeah,
it,
he
without
can make his
doing a
own
lot of
tables,
work.
yeah.
And so I invited him in and said, you're welcome to come in, and we're not gonna put every building permit up on site. And so it turned a little heated as to I was denying his request. But I wasn't denying the request, it was taken that way, but because I didn't provide everything you wanted, and that's not what I'm supposed to have the girls do, or is to make work. She searched the parameters, she had the ability to search, and that's what it pulled. So if you want to come and look at somebody's house plans to say how much they estimated it was going to be cost to build, and then what the assessment was, most of the assessments online, just the cost to build,
Right.
would take the trip to the office. And I realize we're in a world that most people want to do it through here, and I get it. But it's just hard to, people take things a little differently when we can't supply it via some technology. So, I mean, I don't care how you guys do it. I mean, it's not gonna stop everybody.
No.
They're still gonna come and ask for the signed things and everything else.
I'm just gonna throw a stab at it and just leave it, but inject when legally appropriate. That would cover your federal, state, and otherwise.
I'll leave upon request alone. I do feel like we should, at some point, before too long, settle on some policy that's,
Yeah.
little, get as much out there as we can.
That's
Again,
fine.
to unburden everybody who's having to deal with these requests. But I don't love the word appropriate because it could be interpreted a little bit.
Right, but I guess I'm gonna inject there too, on a little side topic is, who in this building would you expect to put everything on the site? And what I mean by that is we already have a strapped, multitasking staff. Who would it be, the delegate, to
I
put all
don't
this
have the answer
information
right
on?
now. That's,
You know what I'm
again, that's
saying?
what I'm saying. We need to talk about it. We need to,
Well, again, that's gonna require
yeah.
time
Yep.
and labor, right?
Yep.
So.
And
yeah.
we need to rack and stack how important all this is. And
Right.
we only
Okay.
have so many.
Okay, just a thought, I just wanted to interject that,
Yep.
we're already shorthanded.
Sure.
To really put all of that information on that website is quite an undertaking, right?
Sure.
So,
So let me
Where did we end up?
Yeah, let me throw my language at you. And so it was, these reports shall be made available to the public upon request
Period.
when allowed, well, no period, and when allowed by all federal, state, and local laws and regulations.
I'm okay with the rest of it. the
That's
remainder of it.
fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with the remainder of it.
And when allowed by
All federal, state, and local laws and regulations.
and local laws and regulations?
Yep.
Okay.
And then so the last sentence of section 8, this is something that was discussed here as well, that, hey, this sentence doesn't really belong here. I would just throw it up at the end of section 6. The last sentence of section 8, I think should just go at the end of section 6.
Public meetings.
I don't have a problem with that. Kevin, what do you think?
Fine.
Okay.
Knock an easy one out.
Take this one, this last sentence.
No, just the last sentence and put it,
Yeah.
yeah,
up
under record.
After what we just added.
yeah.
But recording should be plural.
Okay.
I know this is one that was worked on in section 7. It used to, so, let me back up. It says, "The town administrator keeps the Board of Selectmen fully advised as to the needs of the town and recommends to the Board of Selectmen and to other elected town officers and agencies for adoption any of the measures requiring action." And that used to have the verbiage at the end, by them or by the town meeting, which was removed. And so where I ended up on this, because I feel like the sentence as it is kind of ends abruptly, because it doesn't say, it doesn't explain what these measures are that require actions or who or what. So I would say, to other elected town officers and agencies, well, shoot, I'm looking at my edits and they're just as bad. I'll leave it alone, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Jumping down to section 8, the middle of section 8, and I think it was our chairman on the March 13th meeting who said, it says, "Unless excused in advance by the chairman of the board," and I believe you had asked, hey, I don't think that should rest on the chairman alone. So it's
No,
just like,
Well, I think that, if I remember correctly, I would fall back to exactly what we just talked about as far as the phone call. She had a family emergency and she wanted to make one phone call, not 5.
yeah, I'm not arguing
Yeah.
one way or the other, that's just, it came up and the edit was not made, so I just wanted to
I
Make
would,
sure everybody's happy.
I would think that that's fine to leave in there, and that way, and then the chair of the board can take the,
Okay.
and run with it, I think.
Section 9,
Are we leaving it?
Leaving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaving it alone.
Section 9, last sentence, he or she makes recommendations of department heads for acquisition and disposal. That makes it sound like we are acquiring and disposing of department heads. So that we should say recommendations to department heads, I believe.
No, so what that was supposed to be was, so like the chief over there, he's got a car he needs to dispose. He needs to go to her and say, I have a car to dispose, and then she says,
Right.
the police has a car to dispose
Disposal,
of this.
right, but, so then I would say he or she makes recommendations to the,
Select board.
yeah, then to the Board of Selectmen for acquisition and disposal of assets as appropriate.
Right,
Because as written, we are acquiring and disposing of department heads as appropriate.
yeah, something.
Right, he or she makes recommendations to the Board of Selectmen.
For acquisition and disposal of town assets as appropriate.
Under recommendation of department heads?
Sure.
Say that again?
Oh, no, let Salem say his piece, and then I'll say my little
Well,
2
I'll
cents.
see if I can tack yours on for a whole sentence. He or she makes recommendations to the Board of Selectmen for acquisition and disposal of town assets as appropriate under recommendation with.
Of department heads.
Of department heads.
We're gonna get a new printout, right? Because I can't.
Eventually,
it's all
eventually, yeah. Yeah, we'll get a new email.
Okay, he or she makes recommendations to the Board of Selectmen for acquisition and disposal of town assets as appropriate. Is it for department heads or of department heads?
No,
With?
with
department heads.
department head,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, recommendation.
So recommendation goes on the end.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm almost there. Section 10, same thing, it says finance director, but we have a finance administrator. And then really the last, and that happens twice, but the last very long sentence,
You have to remember, I wrote this.
I don't know about that.
No, he did.
I mean, no, but I found this from 2004.
Copy and paste it a little bit, didn't it?
The 2004 one's different.
No, I mean like verbatim, like.
Oh,
I
no,
found-
this was, exactly, that was something that was, in draft 1 was added. Yeah, I don't even have a copy with you, with me, I reviewed it at home on the computer. Yeah, that was, I know where you are now, okay, exactly, that is a copy, that is a.
From
copy and paste.
2004?
Yeah,
Okay,
upon request of someone.
okay.
Okay, go ahead, sorry, Salem, to interrupt you.
Really, just the last sentence, I wasn't sure it applied because we have the CIP subcommittee.
Also working with.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
makes sense.
department heads actually present their plans
the
individually
CIP.
to the CIP subcommittee.
Yeah,
I would scratch that whole thing,
okay.
unless there's a better edit to,
No,
Once, twice, I'm gonna cross it off. I don't
Yeah, I
wanna
think
write
you
down
cross it
I think we can cross it off. I think we can take that off.
What are we taking off?
from,
from
also the entire
also.
last sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, from also working, that's all gone.
Well,
Yeah.
I've crossed off before and then I had to write leave in parentheses after, so,
Okay,
okay?
These are really minor, so last, the last sentence of section 11, I think it was gonna be a period, so, sorry. All such contracts and agreements are subject to the approval of the Board of Selectmen, period, capital T. The town administrator has no vote.
Yeah.
okay.
Section 14, it's almost the exact same change as before about the boards, et cetera, that comprise the town, rather than calling out individual boards.
The boards, commissions.
Boards,
and-
commissions, committees, and departments that comprise the town.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
Hold on, later.
am I still holding on?
Yep, she's still writing feverishly over there. Yeah, I can see behind the computer, yeah.
Okay,
Very end of section 17, town meeting should be capitalized.
Oh, in the last sentence?
Yep.
Right in the middle of the page.
And then the rest is all section 18. I thought maybe breaking this up into some bullet points because right now it sounds like the way, I'm skipping over the italics. Lifts/moves objects weighing up to 10 pounds, files, and types on a keyboard at a moderate speed. That sounds like all of those things are done at a moderate speed. We're saying you have to lift and move. So I'm just thinking, break that up into some bullet points. Lifts, moves objects weighing up to 10 pounds, new
Types on a
bullet,
keyboard.
files, new bullet, types on a keyboard at a moderate speed.
Yep.
And given,
I don't know how that one's gonna work. Operates an automobile to perform in-town and out-of-town travel.
Yeah. I'd like to hope so. All right, so we're thinking just a physical, just bullet them out a little bit better.
yeah.
That sounds
All of
reasonable.
them are bullets, every sentence?
I
I'll do
don't, yeah, I don't have a strong preference. It was just to break up, what was a little vague.
So probably start the bullets at lifts and moves, or lifts/moves.
Right, so you get that, and then you get files as separate again.
Yep, separate for types on a keyboard at a moderate
Then
speed.
another bullet for operates an automobile,
Yes.
and then another bullet for travel to night meetings.
Sure.
Sure.
And I have no idea what a physical requirement is to convey.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be cut.
What was it?
That's just kidding.
Yeah.
Under physical requirements, it says regularly conveys
Yeah.
information to the public. That's not
I
a
think,
physical.
I think we can strike that.
Like that
Strike
one.
that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I think we can strike that line.
And
If I
then,
added another 0 to pounds, would you care? Just kidding. Just kidding.
my
Can you
own,
lift 100?
Whoa, whoa, that would sound like a challenge.
Can you? That's a lot of weight. I used to be able to do it, but I don't know that I could do it now.
I can move a file cabinet, huh, Beth? With one hand.
Anything else?
one last minor,
Okay,
I
go
think
ahead.
minor thing,
Sure.
just to line up with other typing,
Sections.
job rec stuff. Types on a keyboard with accuracy at a moderate speed.
A keyboard.
Yeah, we all could type on it with a moderate speed, right?
Right.
But it ain't gonna, it's gonna look like hieroglyphics.
Okay.
And that's it. Easy peasy.
That's all? Oh, jeez.
Oh, like,
All right, so one more round to send to you
Yep,
before you final.
that's fine. Yep. That's that.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna interject. It's 8:30.
Yep.
You've got two people sitting here. What's your plan? You agreed to 2 hours.
Yep, we did.
So
So,
I'm just saying, I don't want these guys sitting here and then you tell them no. I don't know what you're doing.
I understand that.
Okay.
So Beth is here,
Well, we gotta talk about wages.
that's right, okay. Wait,
So if you skip the other two, when will you put them onto? If we were to skip over the other two job
Okay,
descriptions.
can we push these 2 weeks?
I don't think we do that. I was thinking another meeting this week to clean this up so we can start fresh on another one.
I'm just thinking, who's in this room? I don't think anybody.
Because we've
else.
kicked the can down the road now, this is the second session on,
I'm just saying, but.
on all of this. So, and we have plenty of other stuff that we need to be
Well, I
discussing.
think the DBW director is probably, that's one person we still gotta hire, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's the most important part. We have an administrator and a police chief.
Hi.
They know their job descriptions.
Well, the reviews still haven't.
Well, this was the reason these were created was we had scheduled reviews without a current job description. So it was hard to perform the review without a job description. So I put together basically a cut and paste draft to get the conversation started. And I don't know, 80% of it's left on the table, so it was a good start. So anyway, sure, this is exactly what this is about. We also have an interim director who had a 4-month agreement with us as interim director. He's extended that to April 15th, which I sent everyone an email explaining. So we do need to
I didn't get that
define,
one either, I guess.
we do need to
We
define,
lost a lot with that email screw up, didn't we?
But I got some, so I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm not getting all, so.
but I had the same problem then when I.
Initially,
started.
yeah, he missed.
I guess my concern, the reason I'm bringing it up, so we don't have to argue about it all night, is I was invited to that, road agent thing. I am going to go next Monday. I'd like to be part of this conversation. I might or might not know a little bit about being a road agent.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Well, I don't
with
wanna
Rick.
kick the can, I mean, tomorrow's Wednesday, tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Kinda, I mean,
Which
I'm
part?
busy, I'll make it, but
Right.
I don't know.
Can we
Well,
do
I don't wanna
Thursday?
keep these people,
No,
any
no, I don't wanna
longer.
keep them any longer either, and that's my thing, and, no, and we've already kicked the can down the road, now this will be the third time on these positions.
Right.
And his position, and, so I
The
want
interim's
to
gotta
clean them
go
up.
out, the public works director's job's gotta go out
Yeah, no, I agree.
anyway, and, I imagine he'll
Is there
stay around
anything,
with
is there
us.
anything that jumped out at you?
Well, I guess I
Majorly.
don't know why sewer and water isn't part of it, first of all, and,
We've taken that out.
We've taken that out.
well, it isn't really DPW director.
Well,
And why would we?
well, we
All right,
did.
so before
Well,
we
we don't
get,
have
so
enough-
before we
we
go
don't
down
have
that road,
anybody.
before we go down that road, what are we doing? Are we we entertaining who's here, or what are we doing? I'm just asking.
Well, can we start with, do you want to have another meeting this week?
These two individuals are here, and they've been waiting for the last 2 hours.
No, to address these issues.
Yeah, I want him here, yes, absolutely. I think
So,
your
meeting-
input's
so
gonna be
we'll-
valid.
So we'll schedule another meeting after we're done with these two.
I think that's probably the
Before it
best,
goes.
best
Okay.
thing we could do.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable for the rest of the board?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be tomorrow night, it'd be
I'm gonna get rid of my bottle of water,
Thursday or whatever. Okay.
so I can have another one.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it going?
All right, so you guys gonna flip a coin, who we take first, or?
You said you can be done in 30 seconds. Oh, you go first then, because there's no way you can talk for less than 30 seconds. Okay.
Okay, time.
But,
Oh,
pause that thought
As long as I
until
don't have any
Benji comes back.
follow-up
Yeah, till Benji comes back, but you can stand there. Probably, stretch your legs a little bit.
I'm gonna actually give you 1 minute.
No, he said 30 seconds, all he needs.
I don't even think I need 15.
Wow.
I don't think I need 10.
Well, they do.
No,
understand
no,
what you're
chief,
saying.
there's 10, no, I don't know.
Permission to sign the paperwork from Tahoe. Done.
Hold on.
I know, when Benji gets back.
It was practice.
That's right.
No, just ramping up, getting the conversation ready.
I am assuming that's a contract, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's fiscal attached to it. I would think. Yeah, that was one thing that the first work session, we all kind of fizzled out at the 2 hour mark. I mean, it's a lot of information, let's be real, there's a lot of discussion and stuff like that, so we kind of agreed that 2 hour, I mean, if we go either side of it by a little bit, it is what it is, but the 2 hour mark was kind of our objective of the, work sessions, so. We waited for you, yeah. So, chief, 30 seconds, and it starts now.
Permission to sign the paperwork for the Tahoe described in the warrant article. It is ready for us to pick up.
So the documentation as far as the warranty, the purchase and sales, et
Yes.
cetera. Does anybody have any questions for the chief on that?
No.
All right,
Did it on Wednesday.
I'll move that we allow Chief Moore to sign documents related to the Tahoe voted on at town meeting that was approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
Thank you.
45.
He was done talking.
All right,
Radio.
No, that was it. Everything else is additional.
Who seconded it? Did you
Salem-
second or
Salem did.
Okay. There's two SBs here, so.
yeah, now they're, yeah, right, yeah. There was 2 jams before, too.
Was it?
Thank you.
Not as quick as the chief, apparently.
Your 45 seconds is now lapsing.
Okay, warrant article 7
Yes.
on the town ballot was the non-union pay increases. So with our current staffing that we have now, there was a small surplus left over. after we allocated the
At the
5%.
5%? Yep.
So there was a lot of talk from the transfer station department heads and the library department head about trying to get those part-time rates up. So with the surplus that we had from that warrant article, we'd like to allocate $1,649 for the part-time transfer station employees and allocate $29.88 for the part-time library personnel. That eats up the surplus. But if we keep picking at these, because I know we're not gonna make big changes fast,
Right.
but
Right.
So all the part-time are the same pay?
yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay. Again, the obligation that was put to the town doesn't change. The intention of the article does not change. Everybody's got that 5% pay increase. I think for a retainage factor, I think it's appropriate of the part-time help,
Yeah, definitely.
across the board. Any other board member input?
I guess the money has to be spent in this way, right?
It
On-
did not have to be.
I mean, it is obligated to be spent on non-union pay increases, is that correct?
Correct.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, that's,
So it either does not get spent
yep,
or gets spent for
Or
that
get,
purpose.
gets spent. And the obligation was 98,225,
Yep.
that the voters said yes to. So,
And at the time the 98,225 was put together, it was based on the staff that we had at the time. Some have left.
right,
That's why there's a little bit of a surplus.
right, right. And there was longevity attached with that, et cetera, so,
Yeah. New hires come in at lesser rate.
at a lesser rate, right, so.
What happens if they miraculously become full staff this year?
Oh, that's fine. This is not vacancy money at all.
Oh,
This
Because
is
because
the
they're
one-
gonna come in at that lower rate.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, so. Any board members have any other questions? I think we probably need to move this, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll move that we, accept and enact the, warrant article allocation document, presented to us by the town, finance administrator. Is there a second?
I second.
Move and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Okay, the other item on here, I don't know if you want to discuss it tonight?
No,
Okay.
no, I think we need to have we've briefly talked about reallocation, but I think.
Yeah,
we need to have
that's a
bigger-
business
A
night,
bigger
I believe.
discussion, because it
Yeah.
talks about a transcriber for
Yep.
minutes, it talks
And
about
that,
some other things.
to me, that's business.
Right.
That's not
But
work
I
session.
think the immediate need was the first half of the
Yep,
memo.
and I
and
don't
we can
disagree with that.
Talk about the second half at another time.
I don't disagree with that.
But you do have the notes, so if you want to be prepared for your,
Yep.
and ask if you have any questions.
I think I'm stealing your documents.
Does anyone need one? I got two. Everybody got one?
I think I'm stealing your,
I feel bad we made him leave.
I think I'm stealing, I think I'm stealing your documents, so I just wrote that on there.
That's all right.
All right.
Attempt the job description for him, or?
I think we're at our 2-hour mark. It's up to the board.
Oh, I didn't know what your avenue was.
I mean, I think we did 1, 2, 3, 4, we did quite a bit of it. Do we want to reconvene another time this week?
Yeah,
Okay. I think,
gonna have to, so.
yeah. I think
What
we're,
night were you, Tuesday and Wednesdays are tough, as you all
yep,
know.
yep,
I watch my grandkids, so they leave. Tuesday's my regular day off,
Yep.
but,
Thursday would be the only time I could do it this
I
week.
was gonna say Thursday.
Thursday I think would probably be best, if that works for everybody.
Does that work?
I think so. I'll make it work.
Make it work.
Okay,
6:30?
6:30.
All right, and then, so let me, 6:30, so I can post it on 30th.
Is there anybody
3:30.
in here, or no?
Nope, I just looked on the calendar, because
Okay.
it was 5 Thursdays.
That's gonna be for police and DPW directors and jobs?
Yeah,
Descriptions?
And, yeah, I was just gonna say, what are you gonna talk about?
yeah, the DPW, the police chief.
2 leftovers?
Yep, and I think that if,
And I should have the correction back to you.
yep, okay, and I think if that first line in tonight's comes to fruition, in tonight's agenda,
Oh,
what, the
yeah, so
non-public
the
B?
non-public, we're looking to hire somebody,
Yeah.
but he didn't get.
If
the
that comes to
paperwork
fruition
done.
for Thursday, we can do that too, I would think. again, and the only reason, I, as one member of the board, the way I see these work sessions is we don't wanna hold scheduled, per se, non-publics.
I agree.
Right? But we are in such a employee shortage, I think that really is something, if we're meeting and there's a potential hire, I think we nail it. Right? To me anyways.
I don't disagree with that.
You know, I think that is an exception to the general rule of this, what the board's intention of work sessions are. I think if we have somebody that's viable, especially in this labor market, I don't think we can pass them up. And to push them off for another week, we all know.
I'm
I
alright
have,
with
we
it.
have to
We all
post
know.
by Wednesday, so I need
Yep.
to know from
I-
them if he's coming.
Yeah, and I think if we can, I think we do it. Yeah.
So I'll verify that and
Yep.
then just post it
Yep.
if or if not, he's coming.
Yep.
I did not get the copy of the police chief, so if I could get that,
Okay.
that would be helpful.
Anybody else? I
I
tried
got-
catching everybody up, but what happened was is yours got input wrong, and then I wasn't sure, you probably got doubles, and I apologize. Because I wasn't sure when the connection took over, so I was doing yours, and then the group, and then yours. Then I
I'll
found
try
out
to get it set up with
We
you, so
forgot
I
a
got
B in
the,
front of yours, so that's
try to get
why
it
I
set up
couldn't
so
get
I got the government one, not, so it's not going to personal.
Yeah,
one
so
when I have
we,
time.
we're, and just, is it okay if I talk for a second?
Yeah.
So Salem had asked about setting up, so when you do a where.nh.gov,
Yeah, I saw that.
when you
yeah.
reply,
How does
you
it come?
want it as where.nh. Right now, it doesn't. When you reply to me, I get your personal, and when you reply to me.
Right.
And same thing, and he does.
Yeah, yeah.
So we met with IT today, and they are going to fix that.
Okay.
It's gonna set up as a, he called it a kiosk.
Okay.
So that you guys would be able to get in, log in, and then
Oh,
whatever
okay.
you replied to,
It will.
it would go back as
Yep.
fhippler@where.nh,
Mhm.
sbloom@where.nh.
Mhm.
He's working at that, so
Okay.
we had always just done the forward.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings up a very good point, because when you reply, everybody's
Sure.
got your personal email.
Right, no,
So,
sure.
and that was the idea,
Mhm.
but where more is done through email. So we are working on getting that, but it's gonna be set up in a kiosk type system.
The only question I would have is before we push the go button on that.
Yeah.
And just because we are in that situation now, is just run it by town council as far as 91A requests, that would all work appropriately
So by
the
doing
same
it in a
way.
kiosk, it gets your email to my server,
Okay,
and then even if you left or you deleted it at your home, I still would have a copy.
okay. No, and that's fine. I just
The
want,
whole idea
I just
of
want to
doing
make sure
it.
that it's all
No,
there,
and the
same.
concern was the same, because
Yep.
91A requests, when, I
Yep.
just sent you guys,
Yeah,
not
they
the
could-
two new members.
Right.
Right,
I received, right-to-know requests for any and all text emails, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
had selectmen, planning board, and it had a timeframe
Correct.
as well as a topic they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the group and said, please let me know either way. If it's no, I don't have anything, that's fine. But they have to tell me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because a lot of them, the boards, the planning, zoning goes to their own emails,
Mm-hmm.
so.
So in preparation for Thursday's meeting, we currently, under the police chief job description, we don't have an alternative presented, where only thing we have is the existing.
and we have one that he gave us
Well, from
From
his old.
Norfolk.
from
Virginia.
from Norfolk, and we
Yeah.
also have, there was another one, because I brought all of them. I thought there was,
No.
oh, I'm sorry, the employee agreement, the employment agreement, that's the only other thing that I have.
Oh, and that I need to send to
So-
these guys.
Okay,
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And that was how the first two, the two that we worked off of tonight were created as an alternative.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I thought the police chief one was broadly fine.
okay, all right, well, we can,
So there's also a third piece that, Benji, you guys, well, I'll just redo it, all of you, is the employment agreement that we currently have
Police
with
chief.
him,
Okay.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
One thing I thought of, it's getting late, we don't have a vice chair.
yes, so that was, I was
Isn't
gonna.
that usually the first thing we do?
I was gonna mention that, and the only reason, because there was two new members, we kinda chatted about it a little bit, and I thought, all right, well, let's run that first meeting as, you know, there was a lot of information and
No,
and
it's
stuff.
fine. Yeah.
And then, I was thinking this next business meeting coming, we were gonna put on the agenda.
So next week, or
Yeah,
Thursday?
this coming
No,
Monday.
no, on Monday
be
the
here.
3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, so you're gonna be elected by default.
Well, that's the thing, I wanna make sure that you know, I think all 5 should be present for that.
Yeah,
I mean-
can we tack it on Thursday then?
I think we should have
I haven't
time.
If we're not gonna do it right now?
Yeah, we should be able to have time, yeah. I think we should have
That or
time.
we,
Do it first thing when we first start.
Yeah, we can
Get
do
it
that
out
first
of
thing
the way.
Thursday, that's
So
fine,
elect-
that's not a problem.
Elect chair and vice chair.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't trying to table, I was just, again, just trying to make sure that everybody kinda got the
Okay,
speed.
It'll be on for
It was
Thursday.
gonna be quite a bit, that's all.
like I say, if you wanna do it and get back, whatever.
No,
No, we'll do
we can do it
Thursday.
Thursday, we can do it Thursday, that's not a
So-
problem.
And I do, and disagreeing with me, please, I almost feel like it should be done at the end of the meeting, because there will have been things directed at current chair where you will,
Okay.
you will know things for that Thursday meeting.
I know nothing. No.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I
Like-
know what you mean, yeah.
like,
No, we can do
so
it at the end,
Get
that's
through
fine.
that meeting where you've
I'll list
been-
it third,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
so that we can.
I'm fine with that,
Yep.
whatever the board
Bill,
wants.
what-
So 6:30, Thursday the 30th,
Mm-hmm.
those 3 things, I'll try to narrow down the non-public
Yep.
if possible. If you don't see it, then we're not having it,
There you go.
okay?
That-
What'd you say, you're listing the 3rd?
What?
You said listing the 3rd?
So what, the third thing on the
Oh,
list
okay,
was just
yep,
what he talked
yep,
about, was
yep,
elect the chair and
the
vice
chair,
chair.
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
yeah.
So, with regards to non-public, and I know this is, I hope to keep this as short as I can. It's difficult for these first couple not having any context for the non-publics going into them. So is there any way,
As far
as
as,
far, like, if it's a,
on the,
like,
on the agenda?
So coming
like
in
having
ahead
had an
of time.
email or something with, for instance, if it were a hiring, if it were an interview, like a resume.
I think Kevin mentioned that to me, that I did that last week to you, but I didn't this week, and so when we have a non-public, I can say, the first non-public is to meet with a potential hire, yeah, so you're not walking in blind.
Right,
I get
right,
it.
right.
Know what it
Completely,
is.
yeah.
And
My
yeah,
apologies.
and if you have a resume or whatever they filled out,
Right, it was just missing.
okay.
Well, wait, so are you looking for me to send you their resume?
Ahead of time?
Well, ahead of time, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, just
Can
because
I
I
do
take,
that with,
well, that's,
I don't know if you can.
I'm just trying to
I
think
mean,
of what flows out of here
tell
can be
you-
right to know,
we-
I'm just
we-
asking.
We can,
Like-
yeah, well,
No, go ahead.
because we haven't met the candidate either, so,
even if
Go
the
ahead.
paper were available, just to not go in totally blind. I know we're doing, park interviews for, you know, the people that are gonna work down there.
Yeah.
Actually, they're
And
doing
those are
them
going,
today.
yeah, right now.
Yeah.
yeah, they did,
I'll be there tomorrow.
So let me, all
Um,
right, I'm sorry.
So at least, and I don't know if this was the proper way of doing it, but, you know, we had them in paper and we reviewed them in paper and then put them aside.
as a board or
Yes,
individually?
we did it in non-public.
As a board?
After the public, yes, as a board.
Okay, all right, so not individually. I'm thinking it would be hard individually to have that information. We'd have to be a meet first. So maybe what the solution that is before, so at 6:30, we convene as a B, we get their information, kinda like what the police chief does.
For 15 minutes or
We get their
so.
information for 5-10 minutes or whatever, then we meet them. So we have, like I said, we have that precursor of, all right, we've reviewed your documents, et
My,
cetera.
my ideal is to have gotten an email with it whenever, but if this is what we have to do,
Yeah.
then that's
I-
fine.
Can I
Is it
ask you a
illegal
question?
to send that out?
Do you,
I
well, no,
think
it opens up, it's got, so what I was
We
gonna,
hire, I mean, the company I work for, I get everybody's resumes all day long.
That's private sector.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, there's a difference
what I was
there,
gonna
yeah.
ask you is, do you come in, did you come in over the weekend? I saw your stuff was gone.
I came Friday.
Okay, so if I could get it and put it in your mailbox, do you
yeah,
mind
that'd be great.
stopping and just
That'd be
say
great.
you guys have information in your mailbox? Would that work?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
It's the easiest, and it doesn't tell you what's information in the
Right,
mailbox.
yeah.
Or even if you could say with regards to non-public, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then come to the meeting
And then
early
you
and.
can come in on the weekend, you
or
can come in early or whatever.
Just come
minutes
up
early,
15
All right, I
minutes.
get it.
That's great.
Gotcha.
Thank
The
you.
only thing I would suggest is if you're here, that's fine. If you're not here, it'd be in a sealed envelope.
Oh, I was gonna put them in an envelope.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just for that
I just
particular.
don't know,
yeah.
because I don't,
Yeah, because there's too much traffic, foot traffic by our
Exactly.
mailboxes
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah, should
during
be
the day,
sealed.
it should be
so
a sealed document.
everything, something like that I would seal, and I would let you know that it's there.
That's
When
fine.
I put it there.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Gotcha.
yeah. Some things have to be done by snail mail.
No, but as long as he knows, he's right down the street.
Yeah.
Right,
Go for a walk.
quick walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, I got nothing else if the board doesn't until Thursday.
No, I wanted to put out there, I did miss my first plan board meeting, I had something scheduled already, that I did say.
You're
when
gonna
that
miss
was the
some.
last one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for me, I mean, that's
Yep.
almost big commitment as this,
Yep,
I would've chose a different one, but I was the last one to come to, I'll
Okay.
do my best.
yep.
If, you guys unhappy, I'll switch with somebody, but,
Nope, it's bound to happen.
I'm-
We're busy.
I'm gonna have a hard time making weekend site walks and stuff. I'll do my very best,
Yeah,
but,
okay.
We
Yeah,
just
we-
start probing for graves.
yeah.
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 How's that on?
That's a good time. Yeah. Good. Nope. There he is. All right, so if we're all set, I think we're gonna adjourn.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Wait, hang on one second, don't
Hold
shut that off yet.
Don't shut it off yet.